So I just came from watching Jurassic World Rebirth. First off, just before I do this review, I'd like to say that I'm a very casual fan of this franchise. I probably have watched the first Jurassic Park, the second one, and I would say probably the ones that had Chris Pratt, but very casually. I didn't rewatch any of them before watching this movie. So when I went into this, I didn't have like any real expectations, really any real standards. Just went in to see what it's all about. Didn't even watch the trailer. So the movie follows the character of Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, some Marvel actors in this thing. It's Black Widow over here. There's Mahershala Ali, who was supposed to be Blade, and then also there's the dude from Deadpool, Ajax, the villain from Deadpool 1. So all of them, they just want money.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money.
They want to go and get some samples from these dinosaurs that are in some island somewhere near the equator, because the movie tells you that dinosaurs were roaming around the earth. They couldn't survive in other places because of the weather conditions, but now they're all sort of centralized in some area near the equator. So now they want to go there and collect live samples from these live dinosaurs. This is our core crew of characters: Mahershala Ali, Scarlett Johansson's character, Ajax dude. Those are the core characters. Then we are joined by some random family who are on vacation. That's why I knew that the movie is about to go south really fast, because the only reason why this family would be put here is to pad the runtime. Probably the writers were like, well, this paper-thin story that involves Scarlett Johansson's character is going to be very thin, so we might as well pad these other characters in just to make the runtime longer. This random family has a daughter, and also the daughter has a boyfriend. That boyfriend has some of the worst dialogue I have heard in a while. There's also attempts at humor. This crew of people that is led by Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson. There's a guy there who's like a science nerd and an advisor. There's this gag, this joke that they try to do with him, where they invite him on this expedition and he takes like, I don't know, a bunch of pellets and then he begins chewing them loudly, and it's supposed to be funny, and they do this joke twice. Like, there's a part where they reach and there are a bunch of dinosaurs and Scarlett Johansson is pointing her gun ready to fire, and then suddenly she just hears a chewing sound and she looks and it's the science dude chewing. I was like, the attempts at humor were so bad. The movie just has generic characters, generic plot, generic motivation, generic action scenes. The effects were actually okay on the dinosaurs, but I noticed a lot of like, I don't know if it's blue screen or green screen for the environments. There are places where you just look at the character. When you look at Scarlett Johansson or any of the characters, and then you look at the environment, you're like, the environment does not look authentic. You know, it's sort of breaking your immersion, because you can tell this is like a green screen, blue screen, or whatever. And the whole plot just feels like an amalgamation of things you've watched before. Personally, I couldn't stop thinking about King Kong from 2005. Because I think also King Kong 2005 is about going to an island where there's like a dinosaur, T-Rex and stuff. I couldn't stop thinking about Anaconda from 1997, which is an expedition to go get some things and then there are creatures somewhere, you know. This family just fell so out of place. And the reason they fell so out of place is because they have no goal. Our core set of characters, Mahershala Ali, Scarlett Johansson, those guys have a goal. It is to get the samples from the live dinosaurs. But the family is just there. They're just there doing whatever buffoonery they're doing. And the reason you care about characters is because they have an objective and you're trying to root for them as they go for the objective. There's this sequence that has a Tyrannosaurus Rex chasing the family. That was quite entertaining. However, it was there that I began to see that the movie is stealing iconic scenes from the first Jurassic Park. I was just watching that scene where the Tyrannosaurus Rex is chasing the family, and I was like, wait a minute, isn't this just the same scene, but like if from the first Jurassic Park, but like this one is on water, the other one was on land. Also in this movie, Rebirth, near the end, there's a scene where this creature is chasing some kids in like a shop, and I was like, isn't that just the same as that iconic scene from the first movie? Very many scenes that I just began to realize are just being plagiarized from the first movie. I really dislike the fact that the original iconic score of Jurassic Park from the first film it's just being thrown in here for nostalgia bait. The movie just felt very lazy. It's not unwatchable. I'm not going to do a comparison with the other films because, as I said, I'm a casual of this franchise. So I thought it was watchable, but it's the type of watchable where I put it in the background as I wash my house. And out of 10, I think I'd give it a 5. A 5 out of 10. It just generic, lazy, stealing stuff from other movies I've seen, and also plagiarizing stuff from the first iconic film. Those are just my thoughts. If you've watched this movie, please make sure to give me your thoughts. Smash like and subscribe for more reviews. Make sure to check out this on Zone Screen. What do you think about this movie? If you've seen it, I did react to the first Jurassic Park on this channel back when I used to do more of reactions than reviews. So I'll leave it here on screen and then I'll see you in the next one.